How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffled and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. So today I want to do a little bit of a discussion video about Pokemon Generation 8 in 2019. As you guys know, we have gotten already confirmations, or the same day we got the announcements for Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, we also got the confirmation that Pokemon in 2019 is going to be Generation 8 and that sort of stuff. But there was also some info that's been kind of spread around here and there, kind of like, you know, a little bit of hints dropped here, a little bit of hints dropped there, and even the guy who actually leaked the exact time and official timing for the reveal of Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, the guy who actually leaked that info, he said next year is when we should get excited. This year, he said, don't be too excited for 2018, but 2019, that's when you should be hyped. So I thought we'd go through this article here, and I want to do a little bit of a discussion, speculation video where we talk about all this stuff, because we also heard from the CEO of the Pokemon company that next year is going to bring the best looking Pokemon RPG we've ever gotten, like the best graphics we've ever seen, which means we won't be getting the cartoony stuff. I mean, we're still getting like, you know, cartoony, 3D style, but it won't be like too childish or whatever. It's going to be like just really good looking, right? And that's what I'm excited about. So I thought we'd go through this article here, which I think I've already talked about in the past as well, but I want to go through this again, just talk a little bit about this and talk about the graphics update and how that potentially could look like. I even got a video probably in the future I can show you guys where like we have some different styles of graphics from other games and how that could work for 2019 and that game. So I thought we'd go through this first, guys, which is Pokemon Company CEO says the Pokemon 2019 will come during the second half of the year and more details. Now, this is on My Nintendo News, by the way. If you want to read this, I'm going to make sure to link this article down below for you guys. You can check it out down there. My Nintendo News, they have a lot of this information, all this stuff, they usually post this stuff right there. And they also have a source here, which we'll go into after this. But the Pokemon Company CEO, Tsunekazu Ishihara, recently participated in an interview with Famitsu to talk about the upcoming Pokemon games, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and also Pokemon 2019. While he couldn't say too much about the Pokemon game schedule for next year, he did reiterate that it will come during the second half of the year and will feature a brand new Pokemon. It will also feature improved visuals over any prior Pokemon title. So this means that if this game that's coming is going to look better than Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and also better than Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, I'm excited, because here's the thing. If you actually play Ultra Sun and Moon, if you actually play those games on Citra and you play them in like 4K resolution, really good resolution, right? Those games look amazing, right? Those look freaking phenomenal. If they can just give us like a updated version of like how Pokemon Battle Revolution looks like those battles in that style, if they give us something like that, I'd be hella excited. But I am positive these upcoming games next year are going to be what we've all been waiting for, because in terms of development time, right, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee took them 2 years. They confirmed this, 2 years to develop Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, which means that the games we're getting next year have taken around 3 to 4 years to develop, which is fantastic. I am so excited for that, because honestly, that's the thing with like X and Y, is like the problem with X and Y was that they took a long time to develop, but it was their first ever 3D game by Game Freak onto the 3DS, hence why they weren't really the best in the story department, because they spent more time developing the models, the 3D models, and the style of the 3D models, how battles would work, and all that stuff, right? It took them a long time to develop all those things, but now they don't have that issue anymore. They've already made, like, X and Y, ORAS, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon, and now Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. Those are 5 3D games. 5 3D games in, like bigger worlds and the 3D environment and that sort of stuff. They've already done that, like 5 games like that right now, okay? They've done quite a few, which means they've learned now. They understand what they're working with, which means they can up their graphics a lot. They can also update, up the level of like, visual aspects and also gameplay and improve upon it, because as you could see, X and Y lacked in the story department, but they did have a lot of like, unique new like battle things to them. Like a lot of the battle stuff was improved upon there. We had Mega Evolutions and stuff. You can comment on Mega Evolutions whatever way you want and say like, oh, they were positive, they were negative, whatever. It's not really important. The point is that in those games, the lack was in story. And then with Sun and Moon, the lack was in gameplay, where like the gameplay was a bit lacking while the story elements were gigantic. There was a huge story, a lot of story elements in the game. A lot of it revolved around the story, a bit too much actually, in my opinion, where, there was no balance between the two. So the gameplay kind of got outshadowed by the amount of talking you did and the amount of cutscenes, which was the issue with Sun and Moon, which is a lot of people. I personally did not like Sun and Moon for the use of cutscenes. Like, it was just too many, versus how much gameplay you actually spend. Like, literally, the first hour of the gameplay that you play in the Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, even in Sun and Moon, which took away a lot of the issues that Sun and Moon had, still has way too many cutscenes. It takes way too long to get things done in the game and actually, move ahead with your journey. And even when you move ahead on the journey, there's a lot of things blocking you all the way, which is the big issue with those games. But then with X and Y, the issue was, it was just kind of like, it was very plain. It was just, there was no story. And the characters that did exist in the story were pretty boring. And that sort of stuff. In general, though, what I want to say is, I think now they've learned from those, either those mistakes or those, good things they did. They've learned from those things now. They're taking those experiences, and I think next year's game, 2019, is going to be phenomenal. So, they say it will also feature improved visuals over any prior Pokemon title, and will be completely different from Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. And that is the most important part. They'll be different, completely different from Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. And that is good, okay? Now, you may love Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee however much you want. You may be excited for them. I'm excited to play through Kanto again. I'm not expecting these games to be, at this point, after, looking at, all the info we have about the games, I'm not expecting them to be anything like any Pokemon game we've had in the past where, we have this, plethora of things to do. These are going to be very simple games, very much to the point of, okay, this is just something you play as a little bit of an extra thing, on the sideline with your Pokemon Go game, right? They're supposed to bring in the Pokemon Go players onto the consoles so that, they have more people with, Pokemon in their hands, on their consoles, so they'll be more likely to buy Pokemon in the future, aka Generation 8. Now, of course, my biggest worry was, I hope that, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee doesn't take away from the sales of Pokemon Generation 8. That was my biggest worry. But then again, it really wouldn't matter, because as people already explained, the way you should look at these Let's Go Pikachu games and Let's Go Eevee games versus, the Generation games and the main series games, and again, they're all main series core games or whatever, but, we have the core games, and then we have the Let's Go games. And the way you should look at it is kind of like how you have, people said, take Super Mario Odyssey and Super Mario Bros. Or whatever, right? They're essentially the same, it's the same franchise, same games or whatever, but it's two different things, right? You have Odyssey with, this giant, open, openish world, and you go around, have a good time, right? But then, on the other side, you have these more enclosed games that are, less extreme, less features, etc. That's the way they want to look at these things, and I'm fine with that. Hey, the more Pokemon, the better, but, I just don't hope, we just get, this, I don't hope that Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and the Let's Go format doesn't switch out, remakes and remove remakes and just leave us with, these Let's Go games instead, because that would be pretty boring. I'm a big fan of the, the remakes we've had, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, my personal favorite games. I know a lot of people don't like them. For me, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, best games, in my opinion, ever, personally, okay? I love those. It's just my own opinion. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, one of my personal games ever that I've played. I love those things. They're freaking amazing. A lot of people didn't like them because they thought it was too easy or this or that, There's a lot of, love-hate between all these games in the Pokemon franchise. The community is never going to be settled on one thing. But hey, I don't think we should be too worried. Then again, there are issues with Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, but I think we should address those once the games are out, once we've experienced them a bit more, and once we play them, and once we know what the hell we're talking about. Then we can judge them, and then we can throw shade at them even more than we've done currently. Because I think I've personally been very negative against the games. I was very negative initially because I was just worried, more than anything, I was just worried about what these games could lead to and what they could mean for the Pokemon franchise, but that shouldn't be an issue. 2019 is when I'm most excited, though, because I love when we get new Pokemon. That's my favorite part about when new generations come out, is the hype and anticipation for brand new Pokemon. That is the most hype part about it. It's when you're waiting for a brand new Pokemon to be revealed, or then, they show you the new region. Oh god, is that region based on Spain, Italy? What is it based on? Oh, it looks cool. Oh, we have this new feature and this new feature. This is how the characters look like. There's so many amazing things about the upcoming generations that excite me, that I want to see and I want to see happen, etc. It just makes me so excited, and that's why I want to just bring up this 2019 game, because it's going to be fantastic. And of course, as you all know, there's been a lot of updates with Pokemon Go. For example, Pokemon Go had now trading introduced and that sort of stuff. It's been a big thing for them, but there was a lot of issues with Pokemon Go trading, which I think is really strange because, you have Niantic with way too much money on their hands, but they just seem to be able to, introduce things properly, which was, you have to be level 40. Only people level 40 were able to actually, use trading for the first, whatever amount of days or whatever, hours or whatever, and then eventually they started introducing it to level 38, level 30s, etc. which is really weird. I don't know why they would do that, but also the trading itself requires you to have like in-game resources to actually trade, which is a bit of a stupid kind of thing to do, which is like where the issue for me comes in when you think of the Let's Go games and stuff, which is why I'm more excited for next year, because the Let's Go games, they're just an add-on, I guess, sort of add-on games for the people who play Pokemon Go, and a way to get them into buying the consoles so the Pokemon will flourish and just earn more money, which, fair enough, they're a business. They're supposed to make money. That's the whole point of, like, you know, making the whole Pokeball Plus thing, right? It's more revenue, it's more money. Then you use that money to, you know, develop more games. It's logical, right? You know, you have your profits, you have your revenue, and then, you know, money that's spent on actually making more games. I get that. The more Pokemon makes, the more games we get. My only issue is that, like, you know, they don't get too complacent and too lazy is my biggest, like, you know, worry, because we've seen that with a lot of different franchises, a lot of different game developers, is that they make games, they get lazy through making them by earning a lot of money from something that's simpler than what they've done in the past, and then just give you that simple, easy to make product that's like less actually interesting and less like deep and has less things in it and less features, but they just, you know, assume they're gonna make the same amount of money, and they do, because people, you know, just buy shit because sometimes they're stupid, you know what I mean? I'm thinking of Call of Duty mostly what I'm talking about right here. It's like, you know, people just keep buying the games even though they're featuring less and less, you know, actual features, less gameplay, less stuff. Like, that's the thing that I don't want a Pokemon to go down, that path of like giving you less but taking more money from you. That's like the biggest worry, but I don't think that's gonna happen, because next year we're getting freaking Gen 8, and that's what excites me, guys, because like they said, completely different from Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, not gonna be the same, and that's what excites me. And graphics improved above any other Pokemon game in the past. Like, that is what excites me the most, is that these games are gonna be the thing that we've all been waiting for, and 4 years of development is more than enough time to make a great game. Just like, in all honesty, they have Creatures Inc. busting their balls making this game, and, like, you know, making some awesome graphics and, you know, models and all that stuff. I'm excited. If these games can even look like slightly similar to the models we have in Super Smash Ultimate or whatever, Smash Bros. Ultimate, if they can be even similar to those models of like Red and how Red looks in that game, and like how you know, Ivysaur, Squirtle, and Charizard look in those games, like, that would be fantastic. I would love that. Those graphics look amazing. So if they could do that, but for Pokemon and the main series games, I am just like, I'm done for, and I'm ready, and I want to play those games. So, either way, guys, this is my opinions on this whole thing. I want to just bring this up again because I heard about some other information that was that we should just be more excited for next year, the hardcore fan base. Just be more excited for next year. Don't worry too much about this year. Even if you don't want to play these games this year, just don't play them. If you don't buy them if you don't want to play them. Just wait until next year, because that's when you're going to get the thing that you've been waiting for. Even the fact that we're getting any games this year is a freaking surprise, in all honesty, because a lot of people assumed we're not going to get anything this year, and next year we would get Gen 8, or we would get like some sort of remakes next year, and that sort of stuff. I remember when I first talked about this, I specifically said, we're probably going to get remakes this year, or like some sort of, like, you know, reboot, rather, of Kanto, and then next year is when shit's going to happen. And guess what? That's actually what ended up happening. Of course, you know, these sort of remakes, reboots, whatever they are, like, you know, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, they're not really exactly what we expected, but hey, there's still something. It's more than nothing, right? So I'm just going to, you know, leave it there. But yeah, guys, I want to know your opinions on Gen 8. What do you feel about it? Do you think that the graphics are actually going to be really good? Do you know any game that you can think of that the graphics will be similar to, in your opinion? Because I don't think they're going to be Breath of the Wild level. I don't expect that. Even though Breath of the Wild isn't really graphically, like, amazing. It's not like, you know, it's not like a Battlefield game that, like, you know, has these extremely realistic graphics, right? They're good graphics, but they're not, like, super realistic or anything. They're just good looking graphics, right? Which I think Pokemon can definitely achieve. I mean, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, they have pretty clean graphics, but I think these upcoming games, as they said, are going to be, like, visually just well better than any we've seen before. So I want to know your thoughts, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all the next time. Have a freaking great day, guys. And yeah, I guess I will see you all tomorrow, I guess, or later today. Either way, have a good day. Peace out.